It is alarming to realize these dangerous techniques for enlightenment are being incorporated in psychotherapies, self-help seminars, and are even being accepted in mainstream Protestant and Catholic churches and seminaries.
One of the fastest growing yogas in the West today is Tantra. Seductively offered as an exotic means for enhancing one's sexual experiences. Like all yoga, it is designed to provoke possession by Hindu spirits in order to break the chain of reincarnation. In Tantra, advanced disciples indulge in the most degenerate behavior, from human sacrifices to sexual perversion and sorcery.
Tantra yoga is the extreme expression of Hinduism. If you will, it's the black and so-called white magic, in which the Shakti, the Kundalini force, is aroused, the psychic powers that accompany it are in full bloom, and the individual, depending on his personal preference, can channel this force either into the black magic, which includes rites of meditating upon severed heads, human heads in India, and eating bits of flesh and the unconsumed parts of the cremation rites and other practices, horrifying practices. Or they can take it into what they call the white magic part of it, in which they are using this power, this force, for healing, for the benefit of mankind, if you will. Yet Anton LaVey, the Pope of the First Church of Satan, has said it very explicitly. He said that to believe there's any such thing as white magic is mythology. There is no such thing as white magic. All of it has its source in occult psychic power, and it has nothing whatever to do with God.
Toby is a yoga teacher at the Scandinavian Yoga and Meditation School in Aarhus, Denmark, which promotes Tantra yoga.
Tantra means to free the mind through expanding the awareness. That means to be able to meet more and more of the reality in everyday life.
Although yoga is sold to the West through various gimmicks and techniques, its basic occultism remains the same. The hope of immortality is at its heart, and the dream of realizing one's own inherent divinity is its ultimate purpose. Becoming a Christ, they call it. Despite the claims that yoga is only physical and non-religious, it is the very essence of Hinduism's spirituality.
It eventually leads to the realm of the spiritual, to meditation, where the person looks into himself to find the true self, and in finding the true self, he believes he's finding God.
You know, the frightening thing to me now, as I look back, is I started having the experience that I was God. And as God, I could completely structure my life and my universe exactly the way I wanted it.
Dave Hunt, noted author and lecturer, is one of America's leading experts on the New Age. His books include the bestseller, Peace, Prosperity, and the Coming Holocaust. He explains that Hinduism is based upon the same ideas that the Bible says the serpent introduced to Eve in the Garden of Eden.
The yogis teach the same lies that the serpent in Genesis 3 deceived Eve with, that death is merely the doorway to reincarnation, and that humans can become gods. This is either an unbelievable coincidence or an unmistakable identification of the mastermind behind Eastern mysticism.
This mastermind is called Satan in the Bible and is also known as the serpent, the ultimate power of Hinduism, symbolized by the serpent, is glorified and worshipped in Hinduism.
We see God as the form of light, and the name Shiva is used by our group, but meaning incorporeal being, radiating peace, radiating light, love to the whole world.
In India, Shiva is known as the god of destruction. He haunts the cremation grounds and wears a necklace of human skulls and wears serpents in his hair. His power is worshipped. Hindu texts describe the power as the fiery serpent within, called Kundalini.
Many people are talking about Kundalini, and really it does mean energy. That means whatever you call it, it is about energy. To take away blocks in your energy system so you are able to function in a more effective level.
The serpent has been known as energy or the force and worshipped as the symbol of wisdom and immortality in every religion and culture. Only in the Judeo-Christian Bible is the serpent identified as deceiver, destroyer, arch-enemy of God and man.
The old dread and fear of the serpent is being subtly removed from our culture. Even children in schools are being taught to accept the snake through yoga positions like the cobra.
Michelle, could you show us how we do the cobra? That's it. Arch your back. That's good. Look forward. Good. You hold it for a second.
The breathing exercises are designed to teach you to absorb the prana, the energy life force in the cosmos, to channel it into the chakras, the psychic channels, thus awakening the Shakti force, the Kundalini force, and bringing about those psychic powers, which are such an integral and prevalent part in yoga.
So very slowly, let's breathe in through our nose. Very slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out.
There are many dangers in the breathing techniques. Even the writers and the proponents of these exercises are quick to warn that not only do these things trigger emotional and mental diseases, which have been known to place people even in insane asylums for the rest of their lives, but they also recognize that these exercises can open your soul and your mind and your entire being to a takeover by demonic forces.
The followers of the gurus themselves have been forced to form an emergency spiritual network of 4,500 MDs and psychiatrists to treat those who are freaking out on Eastern mysticism.
Many people don't realize this, but it's terribly dangerous to go into a meditative state in which the mind is simply left blank, and that ultimately is the purpose of the meditations in yoga. It's like opening the door to a room. Whatever comes through, you have no control over.
Many argue that certain yoga techniques can be used as merely exercise, yet that is not yoga's intention. It can be compared to joining the military. While a soldier may get stronger and more vigorous, the purpose of the army is certainly not health care. The aim is to learn how to kill. And so it is with yoga. All yogic exercise was designed to kill the will, mind, and emotions, hence releasing the soul from the endless cycle of reincarnation.
I thought I was being strengthened, but what I was really doing is flipping into an altered state of consciousness, a form of self-hypnosis, which is very weakening to the mind and to the body. But this weakness made me afraid to give it up.
The biggest danger I found in practicing transcendental meditation was the dependency on the technique itself. It's kind of like drugs. A drug addict doesn't want to give up his drugs, and because the experience is so pleasing, and he feels his life will crumble around him if he doesn't have it.
I thought I'd have the experience of like leaving Shangri-La and all of a sudden turning old and weak and disintegrating. I was afraid that I would lose my clarity and my energy. But little did I know that when I did give it up, I gained all these things that I never had when I meditated.